How do we know what food is the best for our bodies? How do we know what food's going to give us the most energy? How do we know what food's going to keep us healthy for a long time? Folks, look. Look at this tree. What's up in that tree? Fruit. There's fruit in that tree. That's a papaya tree. And we continue and we look. What's on this tree? There's mangoes on this tree. That's a mango. That's how we know. Do you know you might look at this as a piece of food, a piece of something you just eat for your pleasure, but it goes way beyond that. If you're eating something that is not healthy, you're literally eating something only for the benefit of its taste. But when you're eating something like this, a fruit, especially directly off the tree, and eating it as soon as possible off that tree, you have this energy vitamin packed ball of nutrition. And it comes in different sizes and in different flavors. And you're getting everything you need for life. This is life. This is a living food, a life food, that when you eat it, it's like putting light into light. Our bodies are light. And when you give the lights electricity, it stays bright and it stays well lit for a very long time. Only when that electricity source stops does the light go out. Our bodies were designed to be light bulbs that lasted a very long time. But when you're eating things that do not have the sufficient amount of energy to charge your body, it's going to wear out much sooner. I'm not an electrician, folks, but I am an electrician, folks. I don't know about how to wire my house, but I do know if I try to plug a 220 and a 110 outlet, something's going to go wrong. It's not going to work. But I know when I plug my body with the best energy possible, the energy my body was designed to thrive on and be lit on, I'm going to thrive. There's so many books out and people talking about nutrition and what they feel is the best things for themselves and so on. But there's nothing more nutritious. There's nothing more than life, light in the food that we consume. I mean, one of the reasons we are designed to stay thriving is to search out and find this energy ball of light that we can consume and be recharged. Like gas in a car, like electricity to a electrical system. The charge that comes from the fresh fruit that we eat is what we should be desiring. All shapes and sizes that many people have become so disconnected from the planet, they don't even know what a true fruit looks like, and they can't even identify the tremendous amounts of different types of fruits out there. This is a jackfruit, a perfect example. This is a jackfruit that nature, our creator, has created for us to thrive on. Energy. You have this energy ball, a mango, this energy ball, a jackfruit, and they're in different seasons and they all work together with the sun and the moon and the time of the season and where we are on the planet from tropical to subtropical. Amazing technology that's available to all of us. We don't need to study a book. We just need to look at the sun and the moon and the stars. We don't need to go to universities to understand these things. We just need to consume these things and see how we thrive. This is what we need to come to understand and how we need to relate and come to the truth of what we need to be doing. But what does man do? Man will take this fruit that tastes like the most amazing, sweetest dessert you could ever imagine, and they'll mimic this flavor and put it in some artificial, highly sweetened, unhealthy, unvibrant, non-electrical chemical that they call food, and it's nothing but destroying the light and the energy that the body was created to live on. Bubblegum. This doesn't taste like bubblegum, this jackfruit. Bubblegum tastes like jackfruit. You see the way we get our minds mixed up and messed up? So let me tell you this, folks. I didn't know this growing up. I grew up in New York, and just like many of you, I was eating food that I destroyed. I took these things from nature, and I cooked them, and I processed them, or I went and bought it from somebody else who cooked and processed it. There's so much life in this food. And not just this food. You might be saying, well, you live in a tropical area and you can grow these types of foods and everything else. Do you know there's weeds, things we call weeds, that are some of the most powerful foods you can actually consume? But people don't understand that. Let me show you this. This tree here is called a white sapote tree. White sapote. It's been a couple of days since I've been out here, but look, this is life, folks. You don't need to buy vitamins from the store. You need to find a tree in nature. Look, that's what we can live on. You can't bite into a vitamin. You got to swallow it, right? You're not going to bite into it and taste it. You got to swallow it. And I just pick all these off the floor. This is my life. This is what's going to feed me and energize me and strengthen me and keep me healthy. Folks, no matter where you live, when I lived in New York, I was able to find wild edible herbs. Look. Amazing. Amazing. That's life. I just showed you a jackfruit, a mango, white sapote. And you might be thinking, well, I'm just one of those lucky ones that gets to consume this food because of where I live. Look, the energy. I'm going to show you something now. Look at this. You can get that. And you might not be able to get it here. Go to your local supermarket and buy a papaya. And yeah, the answer on this. Does the ants know? The ants know. They ain't stupid. The ants know what the right thing to do is and the right thing to eat. The bugs know. Man doesn't know. So you can try to figure it all out, but you're not going to get it until you get back to our Creator's plan for us. I want to show you two things right now. Two things that are... This, one of the most important trees in my yard, that's Moringa. Moringa. And you might not be able to grow Moringa because it grows where it's warmer, but you can certainly go and buy Moringa powder right off the tree. Energy. That's it, folks. That's what's going to keep you healthy. That's what's going to keep you thriving in life. Look at this one. This is called katuk, one of my absolute favorites. A great form of protein. And when people are discussing protein and where they're getting their food and all this stuff, look, I'm not going to cook this and destroy it. If you have to cook it and destroy it, you're taking away the energy. Now you got to know what foods to eat, because 90% of the foods you can eat, maybe 85%, are edible. A small amount might be poison, but you know what? They have so much great knowledge and information today. You could take an app and just put it on the plant, and it could tell you if it's nutritional or not, and everything you need to know in terms from eating it or not. You could just take that plant, another jackfruit. This isn't limited to me. Remember, you want the energy, the food that has the energy. Listen, you want to be healthy? Here's what it comes down to. 80% of your diet, let's say 75% if you're into quarters and thinking that way, 3 parts of your plate should be raw, ripe, fresh, organic, fruit, vegetable, nut, or seed. That's it. That's like the key to health. You want great health? 75% of your diet, fruit, vegetable, nut, or seed. Whether you want to do that on a daily day or you want to do that from a meal, meaning, okay, every meal my plate's going to have 75%, 3 parts of it is going to be a fruit, vegetable, nut, or seed. Or if you want to do that on a daily day and say, here's what I ate today. I had 4 meals and 3 of them were all raw and 1 of them was cooked. But think, there's dying, there's surviving, and there's thriving. When you eat the standard American diet, or anything less than 75% raw, ripe, fresh, organic fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, you are contributing toward your dying at the quickest rate possible. And the more you get away from that amount, the quicker you're going. Then there's surviving. When you're eating at least 75% raw, ripe, fresh, organic fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, you're going to survive for a longer time. If you can get to a point where you're eating more than 75% raw, ripe, fresh vegetables, fruits, nuts, and seeds in your diet, and then you start to take in consideration the times you're going to eat those things in accordance with the sun and the moon, and give your body the time to heal through sleeping on a nightly basis, you will be thriving in life. You want to go to universities, you want to go look at all these videos, you want to follow these gurus, you want to talk to all these people. I'm breaking it down for you right now. 75% raw, ripe, fresh fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. You're going to do great in life. The more you go, the better you're going to do, and the less you go, the worse it's going to be. Now, of course, I'm talking about from a nutritional standpoint, because we need to use our mind to make wise decisions and other things in life. And choose the smart choices, not the popular choices, and you'll be successful. Please watch my videos to be inspired. It's coming out now. The people I'm interviewing: Dr. Fred Bishie, High Priest Kofi Kwatamani, Aris Latam, Lou Corona, Doug Graham. These people understand the power and the life force of the food that produces longevity and keeps the light lasting longer than anything else. We can add things to it, we can play around with it, but you must have that as your base, that understanding. The average person today is probably consuming maybe 10%, 20% raw foods, maybe even less, maybe 0. Life produces life, and death produces death. Folks, you don't have to believe me. You don't have to take my word for it, but look at the diseases around you. Look at everything that's going on, and hopefully you'll figure it out. All right, thank you for watching. I've been eating a raw vegan diet now for all these years, and I'm so inspired by the people I'm interviewing and talking to, because they're proving this and being trailblazers for us. I'm interviewing people 20 years older than me. I'm friends with people 40 years older than me. I spoke to people 50 years older than me. It's never too early to get started. And it doesn't have to be too late to start. Any time you add more raw food in your diet versus cooked food, you're going to move in the right direction. All right, everybody, thank you for watching. Have a good day and a great raw life.
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the raw life.